In describing the realities of Anglo-Indian experience, in writing plain tales from the hills, nothing was taboo. Kipling knew that some who came to find a new life in India found despair instead. Suicides were not uncommon, but always covered up. Kipling knew all about what happened to people when they were young and new to the country. To survive, he seems to be saying, you had to live by a new moral code. The real India was unfamiliar and threatening, not that the fools back home understood that. They were fed made-up stories of honour and bravery. Thrown Away is one of the few plain tales from the hills that was never published in the Civil and Military Gazette, and it marks an important change. This dark, brilliant story, proving Kipling so different from the reactionary he's made out to be, was written not just for the Anglo-Indians, but the armchair imperialists back in Britain. Plain tales didn't make Kipling popular with the British in India, and as word about the new stories spread, and he grew less respectful towards his hosts, his Indian education was coming to an end. I've had a good time. I've tasted success and the beauty of money. I've mixed with fighters and statesmen, administrators and women who control them. It was vivid and lively and gloomy and savage. I've tried to get to know folk, from the barrack room and the brothel to the ballroom and the Viceroy's council, and I have in a little measure succeeded. My training has been extensive and peculiar, and now I'm going to come home and see how it will work. Kipling left Lahore on the 3rd of March 1889, destined for fame and fortune. His reputation would wane with the empire, and his politics would alienate later generations. But it was the stories that grew out of his experiences here in Lahore and in the foothills of the Himalayas in Shimla which remain his masterworks. Works which are far more modern and complex, far more sympathetic to the layers of Indian life than Kipling is usually given credit for. Arriving back home in October, he found that Britain had changed too. The empire was more cherished and celebrated than ever, and the reading public were fascinated to find out what life was really like out in the colonies. Kipling found that his plain tales were a popular as well as a critical sensation. The eternal outsider had discovered a welcoming audience.
People said, now we have somebody who will tell us about India.
No writer, not Shakespeare, not Dickens, has ever enjoyed such fame in their own lifetime. And his fame has never waned. Kim, his story of an orphaned boy growing up on the streets of Lahore, would be his literary masterpiece and win him the Nobel Prize.